Hello and welcome to Myra's Crafting Playground. Today is day 16. Oh my gosh, days are just ripping by. Hopefully you're finished your Christmas shopping by now. If you need to get a gift for a crafter, please reach out to me at stampinup.com. My name is Myra Webb and I'm a demonstrator there. So today I have for you a card made with Light of the Year. Here's today's card. So what I wanted to focus on was, most of us, I'm sure, have somewhere in our collection some sort of edge border. And so that's what I did here. I basically took out the corner of the paper and then added behind it a piece from our Seasons of Golden Green paper to line up with the top edge, maybe this way is better, the top edge and the bottom edge, so that it fills it in like that. A great way to use up some scrap paper if you have small pieces and don't know what to do with them. We're always saving them and always looking for a way to use them, so that's one way with your edge dies. And what else can I tell you about this card? Hey, I actually stamped. I have been doing so much paper piecing that you wouldn't know that I had stamps for these things. But yes, so we have some stamps here. Besides the pieces that I've cut out again with their die cuts, I actually did stamp on the card. This lantern is amazing. The amount of detail in just, you know, the shadows and everything. I think I have probably 4 different lantern sets. I don't know. There's something about certain stamps that you can't resist buying them over and over, even though you already have them. So all is bright, and hopefully it lights up somebody's life. So let's go down to the table and see how we made this. Now the table's a little bit destroyed today because, oh wait a minute, one more thing. This is the die I used, the edge die. It was in a set called, I believe it was, oh whoops, there it is. Sorry, I've got stuff all around me on the floor and everything. This was called Basic Border Dies, and it comes with some other, I believe this one is actually a trim for an envelope, the 2 different styles of zigzags. There's a peak there, and then this other one is a bit rounded, which I've used for different snowbanks and things as well. So, but this was the set that I had, Basic Border Dies. I'm not sure if it's still in the catalog or not. I'd have to double check, but you might have some sort, and of course this one obviously, well not obviously, it could be a sandy beach or it could be a cloud, it could be anything really, but I chose to use it as just a nice wiggly cloudy edge. This is for the acorn. This is for the sprig that you see there, and then of course the lantern. So those are the pieces, and the actual stamp set is Light the Way, or Light the Year, sorry, and you can see there's actually 2 lanterns in there, and some verses. All right, let's put those aside. And oh my goodness, whoops, smushed my head. Let's go down to the messy, messy table. I think after today I might actually have to change this beige piece. So I did pre-stamp and pre-cut out my lantern. I used Encore Ultimate Metallic Gold. Any gold ink would do. This is a pigment ink, so you can see that I didn't clean my stamp yet. So this is the lantern, and I'll put that aside. So we've done the lantern. I have also done a lot of the stamping as well, but I think what I'm going to do, since we are stamping more this time, oh, here's a piece I can use, just so you see. All right, I haven't been stamping for you. I've been pre-doing things and getting them all ready. So I tend to put my stamp down on the page and stamp on it this way, and that way you get a nice even coat of ink. When we still had our felt pads, that was the way to ink your stamp, because the felt pads weren't always flat. Now, of course, our ink pads are foam, and if you press too hard when you're going down on the stamp, you end up over inking it, and it just becomes a soggy mess. So, pros and cons of each type. Now, the black ink I won't need except for the verse. So we've done this, so I can put that aside. The two different branches that we're using, I used Old Olive and Garden Green. So the two branches actually, oh my goodness, I have such trouble with that. So it's, and we're going to be using these shortly. So there's the one, and we'll do the other. They're a little bit different, but they're basically the same. So there you go. I'm going to leave these open. Dangerously leave these open, because you know what's going to happen. All right, so those are those two. The acorns, so it's a two-step stamping. So you stamp down one acorn. That was a bit dark. Let's go. And then with the coordinating stamp, so it's sort of, you know, like a positive and negative stamp, you kind of line it up as best as you can. They are pretty foolproof, and you get a bit more. I'll do that again, and then I'll hold it up. You get more detail, and it sort of looks like, I don't know, it gives the whole image more depth, really. And they're pretty fail-proof because, so I can put those aside now, because if you don't get it bang on, it's not really a super problem. So let me show you this last one. I'm going to need that color again. So this one is the sprig that I did. And so when you do this, by itself, the sprig has beautiful shading. Okay, it almost looks two-tone already right there like that. But, okay, I'm going to close this because I have already stamped and cut out my sprigs there, and I won't need that color. This is Crumble, so I won't need that one because I've already done my pine cones. Okay, so this is the other piece of the two-tone for the sprig, and it kind of looks like the wooden branches in there, but it's not really. So, I mean, honestly, I'm not bang on, but there you go. Even with, so what it's done is it's added some shading to the leaves. Okay, I thought it was branches, but nope, it's not. It's added some shading to the leaves. So I have already cut those out as well. So there's a couple more stamps I don't need right now. Okay, early espresso. Not sure that I'm going to need that one anymore. I'll put that away. All right, so let's get started. So those are the images we're working with. A nice collection. I'll pop them somewhere where they can't smear something, hopefully. All right, so let's go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add my paper onto the back of the piece that's cut with the edge. And so that's just a question of, you know, lining up how you want it to go and cutting it. Simple enough, right? Okay. Alright, I'm just going to do that, but because it's got an edge on it, I'm just going to put some glue right on the edge, just so it's not flapping. And we'll take these backs of the tape off. It's getting so close to Christmas, oh my goodness. Alright, I'm going to go this way. And if I need to trim it, I will. No, I don't like that. Alright, so what happened there was I was looking at the direction of my pattern on my paper, and I didn't like the way it was going. My baby wipe, my Fix Everything baby wipe, and okay, it didn't totally catch on the side here. And I also have some exposed glue, which I'm not ready to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you know, when you're embossing and you have one of those sacks filled with mystery powder, just so that it removes the static from your paper, so that when you put the embossing powder on the paper, you don't end up with a whole bunch of flecks when you're finished embossing. So this takes out the static, but it also kills your tape. So if you make a boo-boo like I just did, and now we can work with the paper and there's no sticking. So, see? Recording and teaching you all my hacks here as I go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am just going to freehand this underneath spruce design. So I'm going to start with my old olive. Make sure this is my old olive. And kind of decide where I want my lantern to go, so where the base is going to sit. And we're just going to eyeball it, because that's what I do. I just kind of go, and then I'm just going to sort of make a semicircle around with my spruce branches. Hopefully I've left enough room for the greeting. And then I'm going to take my other spruce branch and go over in my garden green. And see how I have to fill this in as I go through. So I'm just filling it in. as I need to. And then we'll go back to our old olive here and give some extra little pieces. This one might be a bit fuller. Fuller? Is that a good word? More full? I don't know. Anyway. Alright, before I make a disaster, I'm going to leave that like that. And close these up. I don't think I need them anymore. So put them away. Clean that up after. You should see my cleanup pile. Oh dear. Alright. So the one thing I will do is with my metallic gold, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to do this first. Sorry. Okay. So while that's drying, I have my Daffodil Delight here, and what I want to do is to give the glowing effect, because the lantern is three-sided, of course, even though we're seeing it two-dimensionally. So I'm going to take my blending brush, and I just used it so mine is wet already, and I'm just going to add some color here on my paper. And I tap off because I don't like that harsh ink splotch glue when you put it down on your paper. You end up with a very harsh spot if you don't sort of tap off, which is harder. It's always harder to blend out than it is to add, so you know, I encourage you to go lightly and add as you like. So that's pretty well done. Then of course I want some light within my lantern as well. So I'm going to add some yellow in here as well. Now when I did my card, the first one, I noticed that some of my gold was sort of turning yellowish and I added too much, so just be aware of that. Like if you go over the, oh, see like here, over the sides too much, so I'm just going to try and keep it as best as I can in the white. Okay, and that's that done. Now I do want my candle in there, so I'm using my gold. This is the candle from the stamp, and I'm going to pop that in there. And the candle tip itself, where the flame is, there's more of an outline than a solid piece, solid image. So I'm just going to take my crushed curry marker, because crushed curry is a bit more deeper yellow, and I'm going to add that to the flame so it's sort of even deeper than the Daffodil Delight that's on the background. So there you go. There's my candle. Alright, and this is curling because of course I used my baby wipe. Not to worry, not to worry. It's going to be flat down on the card. Okay, the bow. I don't know if you have trouble making these little bows that everybody does, so I'm just going to pop this one on the lantern just so I can get it out of the way and not lose it really, because I know where my lantern is. So I've just put a glue dot on the back there, and I'll put that in the handle. And in front of me, you can't see it, but I have a ribbon stand on a board, so I'm going to pull down my gold ribbon. So just the way I don't cut it off the spool, because I find when you cut it, there's always a lot of waste that happens when you're tying it, you know, when you finally get it the size and everything that you want. So I do the 2 loops, cross over and bring one through, so I'm just tying it in a knot really. And then once it's there, then the playing begins, where you're just sort of pulling back and forth until you get the size that you want. There you go. There's my bow, and I have my designated ribbon scissors here so that I get a nice clean cut, and I will trim it. I sort of trim it at bow length. This one's a little bit long. I'll give that a little bit more of a trim. There you go. So there's my ribbon. Now I have an extra ribbon, an extra little bow. And it's minimal waste, because you've only got the edge off one, you know, as opposed to the edge off 2. So, and now my ribbon, it just, there's a whole collection there for the next time. So that's all that done. So I'm going to take this now and put it on my card base. 16. Oh my goodness, that means I have 32 cards. How many do you have? All right, so I'm going to put this on. So I'm going to re-glue this. That's fine. Better to have it re-glued than to have to worry about it sticking to something, and yeah. You know, card making, it's a creative process. It's not always perfect, right? Sometimes you start out with something, oh my goodness, like that pumpkin spice card. I started out with soft pink, soft green, and soft pink green, and there was another color, and ended up with granny apple and real red. Soft colors are not my palette. I like the bright colors, the jewel tones. That's usually where I like to be. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this that looks like nothing on top of my card. And again, I'm lining up 2 sides, and the other 2, as Justin said, will take care of themselves. So, all right. So what I did for the sprigs is I did pop them up, and I only put a dimensional on the end, like on the top here, because the sticks will basically be under the lantern, and it's okay if they're pushed down and flattened, because the lantern is popped up as well. So I just sort of did one up, one down, the other one, you know, like, yeah, you know what I mean. 2 across the top and 1 pointing down, which, yeah, kind of boring, but once you bring the lantern in and add your pine cones as accents, it kind of all comes together. So that's pretty exciting. So let's get some dimensionals on the back of this. Oh, and I suppose I should have stamped the greeting before I put it on, but I didn't. Right? I just didn't. So we're going to do it after. So I'm going to, my eyes are crooked today. The T-ruler, great invention. I'm just gonna, do I want that? No, I think I want it a bit lower. we go. All right, and then I did think I was just going to glue these when I made my sample card, and I found that they really needed to be popped, just the way everything was sitting on the card and the way they fell into the card. So I'm just going to go right ahead and pop them this time. And I'm just, before I push for permanency, have a look. Then finally we have our greeting, and I have just about enough room. I went a little bit too low with some of my stamping, but what can you do? That would have been nice. It would have been upside down. So I'm just going to pop that right there on the corner. All is bright. And there you go. I hope you like that. Something a little bit different. Always looking for ways to use our stamps. So there we go. Peekaboo. Hope you enjoyed the card, and enjoy the creative process, and Merry Christmas, and hope you're ready for Christmas and enjoying the season. Have a great night.